Good morning, traders. How are we all doing today? Today is the last day of September, which means it's September 30th, 2024. Market does open in about 10 minutes, a little less, about 9.5 minutes. And we are going to be talking about how to find A plus setups every day to trade. Okay, I think this is important. If you're wanting to find setups to trade, you're having difficulties trying to find stuff to trade, or you just want to learn how to find these companies to trade, then definitely stick around and pay attention here as we are going to be going over some key opportunities that you are not going to want to, or some key tips and tricks that you're not going to want to miss out on here. Now, we did talk about this in last week's session as well. We got a couple of live stream videos last week talking about um, how to trade pre-market if you get in before the bell rings, how to find setups after the bell rings when market is already open. Maybe you get come to the market late, you wake up late. I have videos on that. I have videos on how to trade crypto even without investing in crypto through stocks like Mara, Riot, and Hut. You can check out all those videos from last week in the Learn to Earn live stream playlist. Today is the last day of the month, so we are kicking off with not such a good technically start to the day or the week. Down about 57 bucks, it looks like, overall 90 from a swing trade that we had. I'm just going to recap it real quick. And yeah, so my swing trade did not play out according to plan. I should have known. Bitcoin is at all-time highs right now, or it was at all-time highs at this point where I traded. I thought if it broke through 66, we can get up to some higher levels. And obviously we did not. As you can see, perfect pattern repeats itself, touching at this point a little bit higher than that point there at that red line. Key resistance as well back in here. So should not have took that trade, or I take the trade and lock in the, I don't know, I think it was like 30 bucks yet on Friday. Locked in 100 bucks the day before on Mara. So probably not the best thing to hold over the weekend, but nonetheless, still potential to bounce back up. Now this could continue to drop off. I'd say maybe to 60,000, maybe even 63. I guess if that's where it bounces right here, that'd be great at that 63 area, 63.5 ish, back up to that 66. So technically, haven't lost any money yet. Holding on to this, but not in a good spot. As you can see, we've traded Mara a lot, and we've actually making quite a bit of money off of it. So let's go ahead and go back to our pre-market watch list, and we're going to go over the criteria needed to find some good setups. I just wanted to show you what that $57 mark was right there. Let me know if you like this layout or if you'd prefer the layout here with the 30-minute, 5 minutes, and 1 minute. If you'd prefer that style, guys, either way, I like it. It works for me. I don't necessarily need this one. I do use it because it helps kind of from having to click the screen back and forth and seeing all these candles react when needed, right? So it looks like XHG pushed up from 94 cents, 96 cents to $1, all the way up to $2.28, resulting in a $1.28 move this morning. That would have been fantastic for anyone who traded that. Congratulations. Now is that kind of area where you'd want to consider probably locking in some profits toward this resistance line. Now, also for all of you just tuning in, market opens in about 5 minutes. I like to go live about 10 to 5 minutes now, or 5 to 10 minutes before the market actually opens, so that we can touch base with everything going on in the markets here. And wish you guys a happy Monday. Welcome back to the stream. And overall, just ask you guys how your weekend was, how your morning's going, etc. So, got a few people coming in now. We're gonna spread our link around. And guys, we just crossed over 6,000 subscribers, and I think because, I don't know. I'm thinking because the maybe the YouTube algorithm, or just because now we do have more data because we crossed over 6,000 members, we're losing people. We're losing, I think, just bots or old stale accounts, or maybe there's people unsubscribing. I mean, that's very possible too. But we came down below 6,000, so very odd. We're between that 6,000 mark right there, so very cool. And here we go. Okay, morning live trading. We're going to share this to our morning live trading on the Discord. First link in the description above in the first link in the comments section, second link in the description below. And it's free access to our Discord. You can talk with like-minded individuals, and you can learn how to, you know, trade, day trade, swing trade, etc. Got 4 minutes until market opens. Had a great weekend, guys. I hope you guys did too. Ready to get back into action here. It was a nice long weekend. I rather enjoyed it. Usually I don't enjoy the weekends as much because the market's closed. It just feels like it's long and dragged out, and we're very short. But yeah, very nice weekend. Enjoyed it. Peaceful. It was peaceful being out of the market for a couple days. No Sunday night stock talk this week. And then there we go. Spread our other link to Investing for Beginners community. I don't know if you can see that. Over 70,000 members. So definitely check that out if you haven't. That is the, I believe, first link in the description below, or you could just head over to Facebook and join that way as well. All right. 3 minutes until market open. Looks like some people are coming in. Tina, good morning. Dale, good morning. Guys, we're going to go over this watch list real quick. I hope you guys can see this here. It keeps going from small to big. Here we go. There we go. Okay, I hope you guys can see this real quick. We're going to go over it. That's a little bit. There we go. Open this up a little bit. All right, what does this mean? What are we doing? How to find A+ setups every single day. Real quick rundown. Stock criteria. Number 1, the percent gainer needs to be on the top gainer, either pre-market or during market hours. I also look at after hours from Friday. It needs to be at least 40 to 50%, no less than 10% on that list. Now, I'd like to see 40 to 50%, maybe even pick the top 3 to 5 top gainers, right? 1 through 5, the top 5, and go from there. Now, price under $10, but above $1, guys. I need to change this from 75 cents to $1. When a company moves $1 to $1.01, it moves 1 increment. But when a company moves from 99 cents to $1, or 98 cents to 99 cents, or 75 cents to 76 cents, that 1 cent increment, there's actually 2 more zeros behind it. So it actually has to move 100 increments for 1 penny. I don't like to trade anything under $1. Number 3, it needs to have news. Number 4, it needs to have relative volume due to that news. What's the news talking about? Is there a catalyst? Is there some merger? Is there someone investing money into the company? Is there an acquisition? Is there some kind of biopharmaceutical news, like some kind of a new study or treatment or some kind of breakthrough? News, right? Okay, and then relative volume needs to be more. It needs to be over at least, I'd say, like at least 10 to 100 times, or at least over 5 million, something like that. Relative volume needs to be very high, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And float, your float, it needs to be low. So your float and your relative volume are very closely similar to what we're going to talk about here. It's going to take XHG for an example. Now, it did not come up on after hours on Friday, but it did pop up on the top gainer scanner this morning. We're going to go ahead and double click that. This is the top gainer scanner that I see here. Got just a minute, 30 seconds before the market opens. Right here, guys, we see that it popped up news, or it's actually not even over $1 anymore, or it's $2. Okay, so it's over $1. It's on the top 100%. It's 100% on the gainer, so it's the number 2 on the top gainers. News 1 hour ago, 5 days ago. Purchase agreement, 25 million. There's an offering, so it could be some type of a continuation from a few days ago. Looks like a continuation play that drawed out for a little too long. We're going to talk about GSIW too. It has also gone up. There was a subscriber who was talking about it last week, and he wanted more information on it. And so we've been following that. But as you can see, there was news. Okay, it popped up from $1 to 228. Now there was the free float, 101 million free float, compared to the volume, which was 10 million. So very easy math. You have 1 million available shares, and it got traded 10 million times, which means it had a 10 times relative volume, right? Which means it probably would not have came up on this because, oh yeah, it did come up on this. On my active volume here, relative volume, XHG, 1.88 relative volume as far as a 10-day, and percent turnover, almost 10%. So almost exactly what I said, almost 10 times turnover, right? Turnover percent, 10. Which is good. Now, sometimes you can get turnover percents into the thousands. I mean, this thing you get 1,000%, 12,000, 1,200%, stuff like that. So it's good to understand relative volume, and then understanding, finally, the float needs to be low, right? So like XHG has a 101 million float. This has a 7 million float, whereas like Duo, 6 million float. Let's see, GSIW, 4 million float. Some of these floats can get into the hundreds of thousands, right? Or lower, like 88 million. I'm trying to find a good one. 6 million, 54 million. None of these are good examples. Let's go BME, 27 million. I think T-Bio has a lot too. 1 million. Octo, 1 million. And if you guys are wondering what we're looking at here, we're looking at the float, free float, 762 million. Come on. 283 million. If you guys know a company with a low flow, let me know. Right here. Here we go. Found one. PRTG has a float under a million, so 667,000 free float. Okay? That's its free float. That's how much shares it has available to trade. Well, look at its volume. It's only 2.5 thousand. So it's less, it's trading than less the available amount of shares. It'd be like saying, you know, this is a one-of-a-kind painting and there's like a million of them. Or you're saying that I have 1,000 copies of this book that are tradable, but only 2 or 3 people actually want it. That's where supply and demand comes in. So if this was flipped, where this was 667,000 and this was like 2.5 million or something, then we might see some action on this today. And that's usually what happens with a lot of these companies. So now that the market's open, we're going to go to daily. We're looking at our daily gainers here. UXIN, ONCO. Go to the big grid here, go 30-minute, just so that we could see it better. Now, we have been watching this company, has a resistance of 666. Okay, it seems to be staying above these moving averages and the VWAP. So in a way, this could potentially bounce back up to 660. Okay, doesn't mean it has to, but it's potential if it has good news, it has a good float, stuff like that. Gonna look at float, free float 8 million, volume only 111,000, 13,000. So I wouldn't trade that. TCTM pushing up to $1.85. So we're actually gonna go back to our pre-market. Okay, pre-market doesn't move. These are our pre-market gainers. But when the market opens, these don't go up or down, okay? So KXIN was a good example. It's under $1, so I would not trade it. XHG had a resistance of 228, a previous resistance of 228, guys. History tends to repeat itself, doesn't it? Look at that, 275 resistance and a $2.08 resistance. This got up to $2.20. Hit that resistance, and now it's selling off. Okay, these are a 30-minute candle for all of you who are unaware. 30-minute candle here. And it's only because I want to showcase to you the power of resistance lines. Okay, popped up to 348. We missed it. We missed that whole run, guys, and it's been selling off ever since. And why is it selling off? Can anyone tell me why this is selling off? Because it's below the VWAP. It's below this orange line here. As soon as it pushed below on this first candle, continued to sell off. It tried to go above the VWAP, and if it could have went above the VWAP and held right here, if it pushed up on this next candle and held, we could have probably seen a double top, and it probably could have got back up to this resistance level. Right? Would have had more people coming in and buying. A lot of people do not buy on the back side of the MACD when it starts to curl over. They definitely don't invest when the orange line, the MACD, crosses over the signal, which is the blue line. They definitely don't invest. Or on this back side of the MACD, or when your RSI is selling off, or when it's below the VWAP. So there's so many indicators that are available to use to not only take a trade and identify potential areas of profit, but also flipping it and being able to identify these setups that are not A+ setups, that are in fact poor setups and can result in you losing a lot of money. And I hope this helps. If it does, smash the like button for me. I hope this helps. All right, so ZCMD was another one here. Popped up very nicely after hours on Friday. Okay, whoa, what does that mean? Sorry, I don't know why why I said that. So after hours here, we pulled up the after hours. There it is. ZCMD. Would you look at that? So this is a continuation trade from Friday, which means we could have seen this and identified it Friday, Saturday, or even Sunday night, even pre-market this morning. All this information is available to us. So by seeing after hours on the top gainers, we notice that ZCMD was up 64%, 14 million volume with only a 4 million free float. So, I mean, not bad. 2 million free float. Okay, so I had 7 times as much volume than normal. Okay, so from there, we're like, oh, okay, maybe. Then we go to pre-market. There it is again, ZCMD. It's number 4. So it's like, all right, it's you know, over 40 to 50% in gains. Let me put this back over here so I don't lose it. And hit this back up right here. Okay. Hope you guys can see this. Let me know in the comments if you can. Hit a thumbs up button for me if you can see this. Okay. So number 1, ZCMD. It's up 40 or 50%. Check. Yes, it is. It's actually up almost 63%. It was about 70% earlier. Price. Let me take that off so you guys don't get confused. There you go. Just like that. Okay. Price under $10 but over $1. Yes. News. Was there news on it? I don't know. Let's find out. How do we check? Right here, news. Or let's see, yesterday or Friday, I mean, not yesterday. Friday, stock is up 52%. Doesn't really say. Doesn't really necessarily have any crazy news that I see anyways on my list, but that's okay. Okay, so because sometimes you don't necessarily need news. Okay, especially if it's a continuation play from Friday, the news could have already happened. So news wasn't necessarily there. Okay, so this is going to be a complete A+ setup. Relative volume, yes, it was. Relative volume and free float was both there. Okay, free float 2 million. Relative volume today 14 million, so 7 times relative volume. So it pushed up from $1.30 to $2.45 on Friday. Sold off after hours till about right here, till about a $2.13. So, you know, gave back about 30 cents or so. And then pre-market at 2 a.m. this morning, okay, this started trading at 2 a.m. It popped up from 212 to 260, pulled back, pushed up to 269, pulled back, stayed above that VWAP, pushed back up to 269. Okay, so this is a double top here. Worked out perfectly for people who got in on this little bounce, going from 242 to 269, almost 30 cents, and now selling off. Right, so that's pretty textbook. Duo, same thing, pushed up. Now this was also a company that we were trading. A nice 3-day continuation. So this started actually on Wednesday after hours, popped up. Thursday popped up very nicely from 64 cents to that $1.40 mark. Now it's inside of our range. Came back down to 85 cents, pushed back up to $1.73. Came back down along that support line of $1.15 and a little bit below that support line of the SMA, the 200-day moving average. And then this morning pre-market at 2 a.m. again. 2 a.m. my time, it'd be 4 a.m. market time. So at 4 a.m. market time, this pushed up from $1.22 to $2.55, resulting in $1.20-ish, $1.30 in profit per share. Hit that resistance right here, pretty much perfectly on that button again here. So I guess we could pull this up just a hair right there. Resistance, resistance, and now it's pushing up again. So this could actually turn out to be a nice play on the camera or on the live stream as it plays out. This should touch up to 219. I could see this happening very easily as it is above all the indicators. So now this would be a good play to trade. Look at that. Even if you got in at 165 to now, that's 30 cents. If you waited for this green candle at 170, you'd already be up 25 cents per share. Good morning, Major. How's everyone doing today? DUO pushing up to its previous pre-market resistance. That might be all we got too, because look, there's a resistance at $2. So I may have to pass that $2 line, or I'm sorry, $2 mark. And it's also what? Right where the VWAP was. Boom. VWAP. Above the VWAP right now. That's a pre-market resistance, 199.8. And it got as high as 195. So very nice. Very nice trade. Doesn't have to go up to 219. It looks like it's already played out very nicely from, even 170-ish to 195. That's 25-cent move. You have 100 shares. That's only $25. But if you have 1,000 shares, that is $250. So very big difference. And it's only $1, so 1,000 shares would only be around, there'd be $1,600 if you got in at 165, $1,650, get out at 195, $1,950. You make a quick $300 with about $1,000 or 1,000 shares. Not the biggest move. Now look at this one. Nice A+ setup, TTEC. Let's see what its free float is. 19 million, volume 7 million. So not the best as far as relative volume. News. After founder proposes a buyout. Jumps after CEO proposes to take company private. Company private at $6.85 per share. Interesting. So it pushed from $4 to $6 on potential company going private. OCFT pushing up to 270, or it already did push up to 270. TANH, this was another one I wanted to talk about, as it did have previous resistance. Look at this, several times at 25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents, and it got up to 28 cents. So for a nice little breakout from 25 to 28, that's only 3 cents. We also have to understand opportunity cost too. Sometimes it might look good on the chart, but to make any money on 3 cents, you would probably need like this, like 4,000, 5,000 shares to make anything. 5,000 shares at 21 cents is only $1,000. And you sell it at 20, if you could even get filled at 27, like 150 bucks. That's not very much. I mean, it is. That is a lot. But right, I mean, you have to have a lot of shares to buy it. Okay, GSIW, guys, GSIW pushed up to $1.77. Now we did call this out. We said if it did push up above that 115 support, we'd potentially buy in. It pushed up to 125 pre-market on Friday, and I still didn't get in. I still didn't get in, but went from 125 to 177 pre-market on Friday. Came back down, traded in this kind of 150-ish range for a little while this morning, and then pushed up again to that 177. Very textbook trade here, you know, pushing up to that resistance, staying above VWAP, staying above the 9-day and the 20-day moving average. It was able to push up not only just one time back up to 172, but another time to 176. So potentially resulting in two really good trades this morning. If we could have played this out, 1, 2. Was there any news on this? Not really. They got their SEC generated letter though. And then I had another alert up here to sell. So my buy and sell entries were pretty much on point. Trade was there, but did not execute, did not take the trade. What are you guys looking at today? What are you guys looking at? Let's take a look at Mara. Jump over to Bitcoin. What are we at? 746. Very nice. Though it went all the way up past this trend line. Let's go to the 30-minute here. Where I was trading within this channel for a little bit. Broke out of the channel, pushed up to 1825 for a very nice, what is that? 11% move. Okay, I made $100 that day. Was this Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. And then started selling off on Friday. And actually should have just got out at the top, right? Seeing how this was resistance here. And then touched here, that's a double top. And started selling off. It's okay. I'm going to add some more to it now down here, which is going to be great. But in order to not lock in my losses, I just don't sell. I just wait till it goes back up. Right? So that's kind of where Mara is right now. Shouldn't have held. Should have sold, locked my profits, and waited for the next cycle. But again, I was thinking, hey, maybe Bitcoin will push up. It was looking really nice on the 4-hour chart. Popped up to 66, popped up again Friday afternoon. I was like, I just don't see it actually going up. I even drew this line. I was like, if it breaks this line, it's probably going to have a downtrend. And sure enough, there it is. Here's this downtrend based off of the distance. Now we'll see how low it goes. It doesn't have to come all the way down to 60 or all the way down to 50s again. Could bounce here at 65. We'll see how strong Bitcoin actually is. No crazy news. Just says Bitcoin tumbled back to 64 as surprise Japan Prime Minister choice triggers 5% plunge in Nike, which is I'm pretty sure it's their cell phone company. One of their cell phone companies. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Harrison Trump tied in race for crypto voters. Bitcoin ETF pulled in another 1 billion last week. So we're getting a lot of investors. Overbought. Bitcoin drops below 64 as ISM manufacturing data looms. Now this is all 2 hours ago. I didn't know any of this on Friday when I invested in it, okay? Well, I'll say invested in it, but basically when I swing traded it. And we're still in on that swing trade. So if you want to stay up to date with that, hit that first link. Second link in the description or that link above that is pinned in our comments. Get access to our Discord. All right, and price uptrend still in place. They're saying 75K. I mean, that's kind of what I was rooting on. I kind of figured it wouldn't get to 75K with like elections and stuff going on, but hey, I took a chance. Took a chance, and that's all that matters. But yeah, even looking on the 1 week, overbought. 4-day or the daily, overbought. I took a risk, and even looking at it here, right? Buying down in this area, great. Buying in this area, not so great. Why would I risk a 10,000 point move down to get 4 points up, right? 10 points down to make 4 points up. It's backward risk reward. So knowing that right off the bat, definitely should not have taken this trade. But hey, that's all right. I'm just getting in. There's only $1,300. I could buy another 80 something shares down at this level, cut my price in half. So probably will do that coming up. But if this does drop more, why not just go ahead and just buy more, right? We're going to go ahead and make these our resistance levels because it is below. Back to this resistance area again, trading in this channel where it was before, between 15 and 16, which is fantastic. That's great. We could pick up this again, $15, $16 before it pushes back up to those $27 levels, $34 levels. Then yeah, we can see some major money here. Look how much I've been trading this company, right? We made, you know, at least over $1,000 this year on Mara alone. And some days you got to give a little back, but as long as you don't sell, like if I don't sell here, I won't give none of that back. I could average down, wait for it to go back up. I can get out and get into a better position. Either way, there are losses in here. They're not all wins. Been trading this actually religiously probably since May, June, July, August, September. So moving into October. Tomorrow will be October 1st, guys. Happy Halloween almost, right? So yeah, if you guys have any questions, now would be the time to ask. We can go ahead and look at today's trades from Friday. Was there any continuation plays that happened? Yes and no, right? Slight, but nothing crazy. BMEE, we were looking at this company down here in this level. Didn't take the trade. T-Bio pushed up to 517 almost twice. Look at that. 517 almost twice. Boom, 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 boom. A lot of key levels here, guys. That's another thing that you guys can learn as well is one, obviously never take a trade based on anyone's opinion. Only take a trade that you think has value and that you find value in for yourself, right? First off, but really that is like a main thing to always remember. Now, number one is the stock wants to be in your favor. You want to make sure that the company is going up, not down, like this one. So if you see XPEB, perfect example, this company is going up from $9 to $10, 11 to 12 to 13 to 14. And yeah, I made some trades on this. I bought and sold, and I made a few bucks. Could have held. I could still be holding and still be making money as it's continuing to rise. Bit of a pullback right now, but besides the point, we got up to $14. At any point in time, investing in this company, you could have made money. Except unless you bought it $14, obviously. Then you'd be down. This went up 47%. 50% in 7 days. Okay? 50% in 7 days. My goal on this channel is 40% a month. Okay? That's 10% a week. That's 2% a day. And I don't always hit that goal, especially if I have a snag like this where I'm down. And I gotta, make up a little, but from $9.26, and this was even lower than $9, but from $9 to 14, 48% in 7 days. So in 7 days, you could have made 50% on what, $100? That'd be $50 in profit. $1,000 investment, that'd be $500 in profit. A $10,000 investment would have been a $5,000 profit. Now, with that said, this is going up. And by understanding that, you can see that you can take advantage of this trade. Now, it's a little hard to understand where those resistance levels and support levels is because that's number two, is by understanding previous patterns and how they do tend to repeat themselves quite often. More times than not, they will repeat themselves. Let's go to Oxygen here. And I'll show you another example real quick. Oxygen, look at this. From buy areas, we're going to get rid of all these little lines in the middle. Okay. From lows of $1 to highs of $2. down to 130, up to 2, down to $1, up to 2, down to $1, up to 2. And it continuously repeated itself for quite some time. Okay, patterns do tend to repeat themselves more times than they don't. So by understanding your patterns and identifying key resistance, which are these red lines, when to sell, and key support levels, like this, and when to buy, would be able to increase your probability of making more profits. I hope that makes sense. Smash the like button if it does. Okay, so stock must be going up. Okay, it must be going up, not down. 2, you must be able to understand previous patterns, such as uh, patterns like this, and key resistance levels like support and resistance. And then number 4 is opportunity cost. We talked about it earlier. I would take a trade on this at $1 and risk, 5 cents to make $1. So I would risk a nickel. I'd risk a nickel to make $1. I wish I had $1 right now, like lying around somewhere, but yeah. Okay, that's a 5 to 95% risk to reward. I had the math on that. I do it. It's like a 1 to, it's a crazy number, right? Okay, so percent wise, 83%, almost 100% profit from $1 to $2. That's 100%. You put $1,000 in, you could pull $2,000 out. And these will all help you determine what your A plus setups are going to be. Could have got in on here at $6, guys. $6.60 up to 14, 108% in 50 days. 50 days is a little less than 2 months, but there's not a lot of investments or even businesses or companies or anything I know that can make 100% profit in less than 2 months. Now, obviously, it's hindsight. I can go back and look at hundreds of companies that have done this exact same thing in an hour, a day, a week, a month, a year. It's how to find these setups before they happen. Well, if you've never heard of XPEV, they had fantastic news. They're talking about, well, this is first off an EV company. It's a Chinese EV company, so electric vehicle. But they had news about electric flying cars in 2026. Now, whether that goal is attainable or not, if they're able to achieve it, we'll have to wait and see. But at the same time, they have other available cash and things that they use, right? So they're still making money. This company has market cap of 12.6 billion, volume almost 10 million. Free float 762 million, so free float isn't necessarily going to be there, but that does mean there's a lot of investors for the future. There's a lot of people pushing this price higher, there's a lot of people holding on to it. You get into companies with a very low free float, that's because there isn't a lot of people keeping their money into it. There's not a lot of people holding on to it. And there's also not a lot of people with their attention on it, right? I mean, if they start seeing a high relative volume every day, every day, then it is possible they put out more shares. And it just has to do with how big the company is, too. I mean, this company is huge, huge. 762 million free float. Their free float market cap is 10 billion. That's more than most American companies. I mean, not just American companies, any companies, right? Octo pushing up very nicely from $1.34 to 486. And we called this out last week. We even traded it right here. We traded it. I hate when it does this. It shows the buy on this candle and the sell on this candle. It's actually flipped. The buy was more down here and the sell is more. I don't know why it does that. It's stupid. 262% in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. Insane. Right? Octo. What's the news on Octo? Aims for 225 revenue of 100 million. Oh yeah, this is the company last week that said we're our target is to make 100 million. Well, that was kind of bogus news, right? I mean, I could say my target is 100,000 subscribers this year. Doesn't mean I'm going to hit it. The target. And it was fake news, and that's why it pumped up so much. It went from 250 to 486, and then right back down because everyone knew it's bull heck news. Try not to cuss, guys. Okay, I'm actually kind of a big cusser, but I'm not cussing. So smash the like button for me, and I'll keep saying heck. What the heck? All right, guys. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock here. No questions. No questions today. Everyone's sleeping. Maybe. BME. Okay, let's go back up to. Let's go daily here. See if anything's changed on the daily. KXIN. See, I wouldn't want to trade this though. 29 cents, 25 cents. Free float 54 million, volume 300 million. So relative volume is there. The free float technically is there. Number one top gainer, but just it's under $1. Doesn't meet that really strong criteria I had. 5 minute, scrolling over a bit. 157 to 185. That would have been a very nice push right there. Going to be testing this VWAP. Can't get above VWAP. It won't push back up any higher than where it's at. If it gets rejected on VWAP, then you can see this potentially sell off. Now, MACD, as you can see, is trying to curl over, back over to the positive side. I like the price, 100 million. I don't like the free float and the volume, but hey, sometimes you got to work with what you got. Was there any news a moment ago? No news. So all based on charts and that 20-day moving average. Look, bounced right off of it. Bounced right off the 20-day moving average. Here we go, curling over. Nice textbook play here. See if it could push any higher than 2. 2 seems to be a nice resistance. XHG. Looks like this could have been our A+ setup on the day. Volume coming in very nicely, guys. 1.7 million volume right now on this one candle. Up 18% on a single candle, or 30 cents. That's a 30-cent candle. 30 cents is really good, guys. Not always going to get $1 every time you trade, or 50 cents every time you trade, but if you could pull out 15 cents, 20 cents a trade, heck, 30, 40, 50 cents per trade, you're doing really good. I mean, even if you're only doing that with 10 shares. You know, easy example, 100 shares, it goes up 50 cents, that's 50 bucks. Every 1 penny it goes up, that's $1. So if we had 100 shares of this at $1, the way down here, we'd already be up 100 bucks. From $1 to $2. If you had $1,000 in, we'd be up $1,000. Easy math, probability. Look at that crossover. MACD is crossing over the signal, orange over the blue line. MACD, very small red. And what scared me was this big red candle that opened, right? 11 million volume, people sold it. And now they're watching it, getting back in at 150, selling at 216, 215. This is a very, very nice trade. Look at that. Pushed all the way up to resistance because it broke up above that VWAP. It didn't even register that it went up that high. The wick should be way up here, and it's not. There it goes, 236. Now this would be the area you sell, right? You had your buy area. Support on that. This, 4 or 5 red candles down to the EMA. Had 2 million volume, had a lot of volume selling off, had people coming in. Now I think it's halted apparently. Yep, it's a halt. It pushed up 37% or 64 cents in one 5-minute candle. Beautiful trade. Exactly what we like to see. And I should have traded it. I talked about it the whole time. Saw this nice push. We talked about it pushing up above the VWAP and breaking above $2. It did both. Pew, shot right up. So that $1, that $1 you had is now worth $2.36 if you're still holding. If you got $100 invested or 100 shares, you would now be up $136. 1,000 shares, you'd be up $1,360 very quickly, all within just a matter of a few minutes. Meantime, we're talking, we're looking for other different plays that potentially were coming about, and just all of a sudden we were able to come across this one that just happened to work out. And that's just how the market is. You got to show up every day, you got to be consistent, you got to stay on top of all these companies. If it had a nice play today, it's possible this has a continuation tomorrow. So now we're going to want to put it on tomorrow's continuation plays because it pushed up so much today. So there's a lot of things that go into trading. But it doesn't have to be overly complicated either. Yeah, it is somewhat simplified. I'm hoping that I'm simplifying it a little bit for you and it's easy to understand. If it is, definitely smash that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if this is your first time watching. I know some of my long-term subscribers are probably tired of hearing that, but hey, we got to get some new members in here excited about investing because I know investing can change your life as it has changed mine. You know, and I'll leave it at that. Maybe we'll leave story time for another day. But definitely changed my life. I know it could change yours too. Making money, trading stocks. So appreciate you guys' time. Hope you guys all have a great day, and we will be back at it same time, same place tomorrow morning and market open. Thanks guys for watching, and I wish you all an amazing Monday and a final day of September 2024. Thanks for watching this video on how to find A+ setups every day and tuning in to our live day trading session. Hope you guys have a great one. It's all in the year on a green note. Talk to you later.